Hello everyone, welcome back to Civil Brains YouTube channel. So in today's videos, we'll try to see how to do the BBS for a continuous beam. And before doing the BBS for a continuous beam, how the lapping in the beam should be done for a continuous beam, where it has to be done, where it should not be done. We'll discuss on that. And I'll take up this particular drawing and I'll explain you how to do the BBS for a continuous beam. And if you're interested to enroll in my courses, so you can log into civilbrains.com. All my courses are available. Okay, whatever I teach, like site execution, estimation, drawing, reading, and all. So you can scroll down my entire website, and all these other courses which is available. You can enroll in the course, upgrade your knowledge, and all. So do check out the website so that you get a better knowledge. Yeah. Now we'll start with this particular thing, right? So this is called as your continuous beam. Why we call it as a continuous beam? Because very simple. We have one column here, there's another column here, another column here, and another column here. And your beam is running like this, right? So it is a continuous beam. So whenever you have a continuous beam, we are supposed to provide the lapping and all. So why it is why lapping should be provided? So usually the one bar what is available in the market, it is generally 12 meter. But now let us say for instance, okay, let's say the center to center distance between this column is 6 meter. So this is 6 meter, this is 6 meter, and let's say this is on a higher side. I'll go for 8 meter. So what has happened? What is the total length I've got? 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 8 is 20 meter. But one bar what is available in the market is only 12 meter. But my length is 20 meters, so I need to lap one more bar. Now, whenever you lap one more bar, you cannot lap it wherever you want. You have to follow certain what you call rules so that you can do the lapping in a better way. So we all know what is a bending moment diagram of a continuous beam, right? So we'll have a negative bending moment here. Just a minute. Yeah. So I'll be experiencing a negative bending moment here because of the beam and the column junction. Then it will turn into a sagging bending moment. It will get into a negative bending moment, then into a sagging, then into a negative sagging, then it will go on like this. Suppose if there's a cantilever here, then it will go like this. Okay, fine. Now, always remember in the beams we have different bars. I mean, of course, there are different types of bar, but generally what we consider is your top bar and bottom bar. So always the top bar, you should not do the lapping near the support. At the center, you can do the lapping for the top bar, and the bottom bar, you should never do the lapping at the center, but near the support, you can do the lapping. That means now what is the reason behind that? For a very simple reason. If you see this negative bending moment, right? This is maximum near the support. If you see this negative bending moment, right? This is a support for me. Here and here it is maximum. So that is why top bar I should not do the lapping near the support. But whereas I can do the lapping at the center portion. If you see here the top, the center portion, there is no much tension at all. Okay, there is no much tension at all. There is no much tension at all. So I can do the lapping at the center. Similarly, for the bottom bar, you see this is sagging bending moment. So it is maximum at the center part. So that is why the center will not do the lapping. Center no lapping. Center no lapping. But near the support here and here, near the support here and here, I can do the lapping. So that is the entire concept behind this. So based on this concept, we have done the lapping. I'll show it here. Just we'll try to understand it. So it's a continuous beam. This part I was not able to capture, not an issue. So let's say a bar is running from here and your 12-meter bar has ended somewhere here. So what we did, now this is one support for me. This is second support. I told the top bar should be lapped at the center portion, right? So of course, this portion you can see it's exactly the center. So what we have done is we have done the lapping of this. I'm bringing my top bar and I'm going to stop it here. And from here, I'll give a lap length. Okay, let me extend this portion. I'll go with a different color. Yeah, I brought a top bar and I've stopped it here. Then I'll give a lapping like this. This is called as lap length. Okay, generally 50 times the D what we give, but depends on drawing how they are given. Then I'll extend it like this. So my top, wherever I've done the lapping, no, this is correct. Exactly the center I've done. I'll ask you one more question. Let's say, uh, you didn't want to lap it here. Suppose if you had to lap in this particular span, what you would have done? Let's say that span is not more than 12 meter. Let's then in that case, what I'll do is I'll bring the bar like this. In this case, I'll stop the bar exactly the center. And now again, this portion I'll do a lapping. Okay, this is how I try to do it. Suppose let's say if you have not done the lapping from this side, you have started the bar, a continuous bar, you have started from here. Not an issue. Bring the straight bar and take it up. Either you can stop it here, like we have done it here, or let's say you are extending up to here. I'll stop it here. And at this center, I'm going to give a lap and I'll take it like this. Okay. So these things you have to plan on the construction side. whatever I'm teaching you, these things depends on how you are going to plan it on the construction side. Because sometimes there are certain cut bars what is available. So you have to make use of those cut bars and you're supposed to do it. But top bar always you do the lapping at the center. Now coming to the bottom bar. Bottom bar, I told you always the bottom bar you should lap near the support. Okay, fine. So this is my bottom bar. So bottom bar I brought it, and let's say I'm going to lap it somewhere here. So is this a right way of lapping the bottom bar at the center? Never. Why? Because for a very same reason, if I ask you to draw the bending moment diagram, your bending moment diagram will look something like this, right? So you'll experience a negative bending moment, it will turn into sagging and then gets into negative. So your maximum bending moment is here at the center. And if you have done the lapping there only, then again it will lead to, say, sudden collapse is not going to happen. Okay, based on my experience, if you have seen all this local construction and all, people try to do the lapping at the center only. In spite of doing this also, the building is not going to fall. Okay, but not a right construction practice. It's something like you have to eat it, you have to eat like this, not like this, right? So over the period of time, if you keep on eating like this, you'll experience the pain and all, right? Same thing here for the building also. For all the beam, if you lap at this portion only, and if your concrete quality is also not good, the workmanship was not good, then after certain time there is a chance the failure may happen. So sudden failure will not happen always. Slightly cracks and all will be visible there because of this lapping and all. Okay, fine. So what we are supposed to do is, yes, we brought a bar. So near the support I told, no. So I have stopped somewhere here. Okay, I stopped somewhere here. And now what I'll do is I'll do a lapping like this. Okay, let's say like this I'll do. And then I'll take it like this. This is correct. Got it, no? So bottom bar within L/4, you're supposed to lap. Okay. That one thing I didn't explain. I'll explain you that also. Again, I'll tell you one more thing. Sometimes, if your building is not in earthquake zone and all, and if it has not been detailed, if it has not been detailed from ductile point of view, you can do the lapping exactly at the column beam junction. Okay, here this is my column beam junction. Here also you can lap. That is not a problem for a normal structure. But sometimes if you're following IS 13920 code book from earthquake point of view, then they'll write you should not do the lapping in the below region from the face of the column 2D distance you have to leave. That means 2D, let's say D is a effect, D is a depth for now. Let's say the depth of my beam is 450. Okay. So in that case, what is 2 into D? So 2 into 450 will be how much? 900, correct? This is 900. So you have to leave a gap of 900 from here. And also here you have to leave a gap of 900. And of course, center you are not supposed to lap. Whatever is left in between that, what is left out? This is left out. This is left out. This is left out. So you have to do the lapping here. So this particular, whatever I'm showing you, no, here it was designed from ductile point of view. So that is why you see exactly at the column beam junction, they have not done the lapping. From here, you have to leave a distance of 2D and then they have done the lapping. Got it? Understood? Fine. So this was all about this particular thing which I had explained. Always remember the top portion from the face of the column, you leave a distance of L/4 from both the sides. From here also you leave L/4, and whatever is left out, no, from there you can do the lapping. For example, let's say this clear span between your column is, let's say it's 10 meter. Okay, 10 meter is practically not possible. Let's say I'll go with 8 meter. Okay, 8 meter for my calculation I'll take. So what is L/4? L is 8. What is 8/4? I'll change the ink. Yeah, what is 8/4? 8/4 is how much? 2 meter. So you leave 2 meter from here, you leave 2 meter from here, and whatever is left out in between, right? Anywhere in between, you can do the lapping. 2 meter is gone, 2 meter is gone, 4 meter is gone out of 8 meter. Remaining is 4 meter. This in between this 4 meter, you can do the lapping wherever you want. Similarly, in the bottom also, it's the same thing. You leave L/4 from here. I mean, yeah, within L/4, you are supposed to do the lapping. This is L/4 here. L/4. Here also it is L/4. Okay, L/4. Within this, you are supposed to do the lapping. Center anyway, you are not going to lap. In this portion, you are not going to lap anyway because your bending moment will be maximum here. But again, if you're following the earthquake thing, it will tell in this L/4, the 2D distance you should not lap. This 2D distance you should not lap. So only the small portion you can see here. The small portion you can see here. Only here you will have a space to lap. So that is why they have done the lapping here. Got it? No? Fine. So that is how it is. So few people go with L/4, few people will go with L/3 also. Not an issue. That will not matter much. Okay, fine. So this was all about this particular thing which I wanted to explain. Now we'll go to the drawing, and I'll explain you how to do the BBS for one particular beam. So if you're watching my lecture for the first time, definitely watch it completely. Subscribe to my channel so that you get a wonderful knowledge. If you're comfortable in Hindi language, I have a YouTube channel by name Civil Brains Hindi. So you can watch it in Hindi. In this particular YouTube channel, I'll be speaking only in English. Apart from that, if you're interested to enroll in my courses and upgrade your knowledge, definitely check out the courses. I would suggest you to enroll in my Construction Manager Mastery course. It includes all my courses from site execution, estimation, drawing, reading, BBS, BOQ, project management, everything. It's almost like 400 plus hours of the content you are going to get. So you can enroll in this course. You can get it for around discounted price. Got it? Apart from that, there are other courses. If you want to learn only site execution, site engineer course is there. If you want to learn only estimation and BBS, that course is available. So all there are more than 20 plus courses available. So you can click and check out the course. But my suggestion would be, if you're a fresher, want to go to the better position in the construction industry, go for my 20 in combo course. Apart from that, other courses are also available. Based on your budget, you can enroll. Apart from that, you can check out our testimonials also, because there are many students who have enrolled in all my courses and all. And you can check out the reviews part also. So all these are the reviews given by the students. You just scroll the reviews, see how the course has benefited them. Okay, we can check out all the reviews and all, so that whatever amount you are spending, right, so it is going in the right part, it is going in a right direction, and you'll get a better return out of it, right? Yeah, so we'll go back. Now we'll go for a BBS part. Okay, BBS, I'll make it very simple, will not make it complicated. I'll keep it in a simple way. All these things I teach in my course, how to do the BBS and all. There I teach you with the help of Excel sheets and all. For time being, we'll go only with the normal calculation. So here he is mentioning that you're supposed to provide a 16 diameter 3 bar. This is 16 diameter 3 bar. Okay. That is, the bars will go like this. Straight, it's going to go 1, 2, and 3. 3 bars you're going to see. Okay. Okay. So we have to find the cutting length of this. So very simple to find the cutting length. You always, what you can do is you take from face to face. From the face of this column to the face of this column, you have to add all the length. So try to do that. So here you can see this is 5000 mm. So this is 5 meter. Add 3447, add 3448, add 2935. If you add all these things, you'll get the clear span from here to here. But we have missed few things. This column is also 230 mm, because when you're passing the bar also will pass through the column, right? So this column we did not add. This 5000 is only up to this portion. This 3447 is from this portion. The center portion is missing because bar will pass like this. So you have to add even these things also. So again, to that you add 230, 230 and 230. Whatever answer you get, right, that is the cutting length of the bar from this end to this end. But again, bar won't just go and sit straight. Bar will always have a development length. That means if this is my bar which will go, it will get a development length like this. It will get a development length like this. So we have to calculate that also. So usually for calculation, I'm telling now, you take development length as 50 into D. Okay, this development length, you can see what they are given like this, what they are given it here. For time being, you take it as 50 into D. D is the diameter of the bar. So what is 50? 50 into D. D is diameter of the bar. So what is the diameter? It's a 16 diameter. No? So 50 into 16 will come out to be 800 mm. But this 800 mm is on one side, right? This 800 mm is only on this side. Similarly, on the other side also I'm supposed to do. So I have to add 800 plus 800, which will be 1600. So 1600, add all this particular length which I've got, and plus if you add all these three things, you get the total cutting length of the one bar. You're getting my point, no? Now, for example, I'll not do the calculation just for your, okay, I have a calculator. Let me quickly do for one bar. Rest bar, you have to do it. So I'll just add 5000 plus 230 plus 3447 plus 230 plus 3448 plus 230 plus 2935, and then I'll add 800 plus 800. So I'm getting 17. I'm getting 17,120 mm. So what is this? This is the total cutting length of one bar. In terms of meter, it will be 17.120 meter. But again, we know that one bar is only 12 meter. My cutting length is 17 meter. So I need to add one more bar. If I need to add one more bar, I need to provide the development. I need to provide the lap length. So what you're supposed to do is you have to add again a development length to this particular cutting length. Okay, since you are going to do a lapping on the construction site, so I'll say 17.120 plus 1 lap length. So lap length will take it as 50 into D. Okay, development length and lap length will be usually same, depends. Okay, but usually development length is the one which will prevail. If both are same, take 50 into D based on the drawing. So again 50 into again 16 you do. So this will come out to be another how much? How much it will be? Another 800 mm it will come. So add another 800 mm to this. So this will be 17.920 meter. This will be the total cutting length of your bar. Okay. For one bar I have calculated. I calculated for one bar. How many such number of bar are there? Three number of bars are there. So what you will do? So 17.920 into three number of such bar into what is the weight of the bar? I want to find the weight in tons. Here I'll find it in kg. Then we can convert it in terms of tons also. So 16 diameter, what is the weight? It is 0.889 if I'm not wrong. Let me do that. So it is d square by 162. The formula to find is d square. D square means 16 square. 16 square divided by 162 you do. So you'll get, okay, sorry, it is 1.58. Okay, it is 1.58. You're getting my point? No. How did I get 1.58? There's a formula to calculate the weight of the bar. That is d square divided by 162. 0.2 it will be, you take 162. This answer will be kg per meter. Okay, we are finding it for 1 meter. If I take a 16 diameter bar of 1 meter, the weight of that bar comes out to be 1.58 kg. Okay, that is why I'm taking 1.58 kg. How many number of bars are there? Three numbers of bar there. What is the total cutting length? 17.920. You tell me what is the answer you're getting. So 17.920 into 3 into 1.58. So you'll get how much? 84. So the answer is, answer is 84.90 kg. So this is the total weight of your bar. That is only a top bar I have done. Similarly, you are supposed to do it for the bottom bar. So again, remember, the top and bottom, the answer remains the same because there is no change. Only the thing is you have to see whether you are getting same diameter or not. If the diameter is same, you don't have to worry. See, bottom also is showing provide 16 diameter 3 bar here. You getting my point? It's 16 diameter 3 bar. So just multiply this answer by 2. So you'll get the total weight of the top steel and the bottom steel. That's it. Understand how to do this BBS? Of course, there are a lot of things to understand. Yeah. So see, all these things I teach in my entire courses. So there we try to do the BBS of all these things. This is for the footing. For the footing, I've done the entire BBS and all. And finally, I've got this much kg of steel is required. Right now, whatever I was explaining you, that was for the beam part, right? So you see here how the beams has been done. So this is like bottom bar, bottom main bar. So in this way, all the Excel sheets we are supposed to prepare. Then we have to write the weight. Right now, I calculated for 16 diameter, the weight is 1.58, right? Same thing, I've written it here. So based on that, I got answer here. So in this way, I'll be doing for the entire building. I thought if for one particular beam, if I give this entire drawing like this, you have to sit and do it for all the beams individually, which will take some time, but it is very simple. Beam BBS is very simple. So after doing everything, you are going to get the answer something like this. Okay, this is for one floor I had done. That 3.8 tons of steel is required. In this way, you're supposed to do it for the slab, one-way slab, chair bar, first floor slab, column also you're supposed to do, footing you're supposed to do. So in this way, we have done it for the entire building. So when you enroll in my complete courses, that is my quantity estimation course, right? So there we learn all these things. If you see these courses in 3-in-1 also, my quantity estimation is there. So I have a course on quantity estimation. So you can enroll in the course, upgrade your knowledge. So that's it. So this was all about this particular lecture. I hope you have enjoyed my lecture up to here, and do enroll in the courses, upgrade your knowledge, and subscribe to my channel. And if you want any other video, just put it in the comment box that you want this particular video. I'll do that in the next video. So I'll see you back in the next lecture. Thank you.